Hi guys, in today's video I'm going to share with you an existing palette that I have in my collection, the Anastasia Beverly Hills Sultry palette. I did a poll on my community page about which palette out of a selection of 5 you would like to see, and Sultry won that poll. So today I'm going to show you 2 eye looks using the Anastasia Beverly Hills Sultry palette. I'm going to create a daytime look and then this evening come a little bit more sultry eye look as well. So if you would like to see how I created those 2 looks, please keep watching. Hi guys, my name is Ange. Thank you so much for joining me on my channel, Angela Stuart's Beauty. I love to share my experiences on all things beauty and lifestyle as I navigate my more mature years, and to share that with you. If that sounds like you and you'd like to see more videos from me on that content, please click on the subscribe button down below. I would love to see you back and joining us in our journey as we navigate our mature years. Please don't forget to click on that notification bell so that YouTube lets you know each time I upload a new video. Thanks for taking time out of your day. Time is precious to us all, for watching this video, and I hope you enjoy. So the Sultry palette. This is a palette that I've had for a little while. As I have mentioned in some previous videos, I am really wanting to delve into my makeup collection and make use of the wonderful makeup that I already have. And I went through a stage where it was so easy to get caught up in every new release. There's 2 things that I needed to curb on that. A, it's just way too expensive and I can't afford it and I can't justify it. 2, there's only so many reincarnations of different shades that you can keep creating. Now I must admit, eyeshadow palettes are my downfall, and I have a lot of repeat shades in my collection because I gravitate to the same palettes, same neutrals, same colors all the time. So I do have a lot of eyeshadow palettes that are very similar. So I'm wanting to revisit those, and I'm sure that you have some of these palettes in your collection. So I'm wanting to revisit those, do the odd tutorial using those so that we can get use out of makeup we already have. Now it's not to say I'm not going to be buying new palettes that come out. I've just bought the Natasha Denona Glam palette, love it, and I've really got my eye on the new Charlotte Tilbury palette, but I'm trying my very best to stay at arm's length with any other releases that don't truly inspire me or really excite me. If they don't really excite me, I'm not going to be purchasing them. I work very hard for my dollar, and I really do need to curb where I spend that dollar. I have got so many highlighters, blushes and bronzers that I'm really going to try and pan most of what I've got, or use up what I've got before, hopefully before I get enticed with any more new releases. You guys voted to see the Sultry palette. I love this palette. It's gorgeous. It's more on the cooler tones. There's a couple of pops of color there that will give you more of the warm tones. The metallics, the shimmers in here are phenomenal. They're just amazing, and I just love the formula of Anastasia Beverly Hills eyeshadows. The mattes are awesome, and I do have quite a few Anastasia palettes, and they are ones that I probably hold on to the most. I don't tend to pass them on because when I have purchased a palette, I really enjoy it and it gets to stay in my collection. So we're revisiting this one today. The first look I'm going to do is more of a pared back, neutral, everyday look you could wear to work, or just as a soft eye look. So we'll get into that first. Okay, so I am quickly trying to get a a look in before I have to go to a appointment this morning. So Anastasia Beverly Hills eye primer. I like to do this to show you literally how little I use on my eyes. You don't need a lot. And I'm just going to tap that on my eyeballs. And after my last couple of videos that I edited, I had used custom white balance. It's all a big playing and it was quite yellow, so I've just gone for auto white balance today. So hopefully it's not too washed out. It's the only thing I find when I go on auto. Sometimes the colours are a bit washed out. Making sure I blend that in the corner, because I've noticed, because I don't get so close to the mirror, sometimes I miss that blending. Because I normally wear glasses and I haven't got my contacts in. So there we go. And we're going for a natural look this time. So here is our Sultry. I'm going to set all over my eye with the colour Fresh. Okay, so that is set with Fresh. Going in with my trusty Morphe R37, I'm going to go in with the colour Birch, which is right up my alley for a transition shade. And we're doing the upper, so not the crease. I'm not going in my crease, I'm going above that. And I'm just blending that in little circular motions going across and blending upwards rather than down towards the crease, because this is going to be our transition area. Now this is where I think the auto white balance doesn't show the colours, so I'm just going to have a tweak. Okay, I've gone back to custom because it really does show up the colour better. So just hopefully it's not too yellowing on my skin. Okay, so little circular motions up in that upper transition area, and that is, looking at the monitor, is a much better true picture of what's going on my eyes. So I'm going to go in with Twig, using the same brush but coming down. We did our transition shade here. I'm just going to come down a little bit and try and create a crease where I don't have one. So just come down a little bit lower, and this is more of a window shield wiper action that I'm going to do. And it sort of shades in an area where I would like to have a natural crease line, but I don't. Now the easiest way to find this, like even though my hooded eyes and my crease is down low on my lid, it doesn't change the shape of my eyeball. My eyeball's the same as everybody else's. So the best way to do it is to put your brush, even if you use the tail end of it, put your brush gently there. Your brush will automatically go around your eyeball. And if you are struggling as a new person to makeup to know where to blend, that is a really good start, is to just start in the outer and let your brush go round your eyeball, and that is a good indication of where your crease shadow should be. And then I just blend so that it's not totally a line, but blend it at the edges, and I always lay more colour at the outer and then blend inwards from there. Okay, so just blending the edges there, and so that was Twig. Taking my Makeup Geek Outer V brush, I need to try and find something similar to this again. I do have other little brushes that are like that, but they're not as stiff and good at packing on the colour in the outer corner as this particular one. So I'm going to go in with Dystopian, and I'm going to do my normal packing at the outer edge. I like doing this because it gently puts the colour on my eye rather than packing too much on, especially around my fold with my hooded eyes. I'm going to quickly run that under the outer portion of my under eye. I get very watery eyes at the moment, and sometimes when I get watery eyes I end up with a white patch in here, and I've only noticed that in the last 18 months. Doesn't take much for my eyes to water, and then I lose a patch of eyeshadow sometimes in that corner, which is when it's good to have lovely blush eyelashes, because that hides that most of the time. So just tapping that in little bit by little bit, running that under a bit more, flicking that out so that little fold that I have in my eyelid is all joined and there's no blank white space. And I'm just adding colour in that outer portion. And I actually am going to add a little bit of bloom just for a little bit of colour, but trying to keep it as neutral as possible. I'll go in with one of my Anastasia brushes, and I'm going to go in with bloom and just pop that right here at the join of Dystopian, just for a little bit of extra colour, just a little bit, and then go back, continue to blend that, and then I like to always go back in with my blending brush and soften all the edges around the outside so I don't have I don't want harsh lines, especially for a daytime look, and then just blending those two colours together nice and soft. So even though this is quite a impactful palette, you can create a soft look. And if you wanted a true neutral eye, you could have totally leave this shade out. I've just done it to add a little bit of a pop, and just, it looks like I'm adding a lot to my eyes, but I literally am just really lightly dipping this brush into the palette and adding little bits at a time so that it's not too heavy. And I'm happy with that. Go in with my blending brush. I tell you what, this is, I just find once I go in with my blending brush and blend everything, for me, I like that it just softens everything back down again. And I'm going to take Twig again, and I'm just going to use the same little Anastasia brush, and I'm just going to just run that under the rest of my under eye. And that's the finished eye look without liner and mascara. I'm going to add a brown liner today. I normally always wear black, but I will go for brown today, and I'm using one of my Colourpop eyeliners. Not my favourite, but I'm going to use them up. I think I'll go back to buying Marc Jacobs eyeliners in different colours. Let me know down below, because I think I might try the Urban Decay 24/7. I might try a couple of those in different shades as well. Just let me know. And I'm just running that in my lash line because I can, because I haven't got extensions, and just a little bit in the waterline. Why I'm not sure about these is these are a little bit hit and miss with the waterline thing. Some of them line really well, and some of them I can go over and over and over my waterline and there's no colour. Okay, and I don't have much in the way of lashes at the moment, but I'm going to try my best. I'm not putting lashes on for going to a medical appointment, so I'm just going to use my Pretty Little Tarte eyelash curlers. as I say, I haven't got a lot to curl. I have the shortest, straightest eyelashes. I'll try and do something with what I have, and I'll put a little bit of the Maybelline, the Falsies Lash Lift. By the time I walk out the door in about 10 minutes time, they will be, again, just letting you know. A couple of blobs that I'll fix up with a Q-tip. I'll quickly do my under eyelashes, and that is the natural look with the Sultry palette, and this is definitely a look that I am comfortable wearing during the day. It's a great workday look for me. Yep, I really like it. So while I was editing this video, I thought I would try and throw in one more look. So this is another evening look. Now this time I haven't used my Anastasia primer. I have just used concealer, and I'm just going to set with that colour Fresh all over my eye, lash to brow bone. So that's just setting the concealer. Okay, so I'm going to go in with a flat shader brush, and I'm using the large shader E60 from Sigma, and I'm going to go in with the colour Ember all over my lid, and I'm going to, this is different to what I would normally do, where I would do a transition shade first, and I am just packing that on the eyelid. And I'm just going up to where I would like my crease to be. It's all just patting and dragging. Now I'm going to go in with a Morphe R37 brush, and I'm going to take the shade Birch, and I'm just going to run that along the top of that shade in the transition area, blending that colour. So I'm just taking that little circular motions and blending that into that area and melding the two shades together. Add a little bit more of that Ember shade just on the lid. Then I'm going to take a Wayne Goss number 19 brush, and I'm going to take the shade Dystopian, which is this very dark brown, and I'm going to start with running that under the eye. Okay, then I'm going to use the same brush, same colour, and I'm just going to follow that line that I drew from my underline, and as I swept it up, I'm just going to build on that and draw that colour inwards just to deepen up that outer corner of the eye. And then just really blend it with little circular motions to deepen up that corner. And then lightly build that inwards. And really that is all it is going to be for this eye. So I'm going to take a black liner, do my waterline, pop my lashes on using the velour eyeliner cum adhesive, and I'll be right back. Okay guys, so that is the final of the third look using the Sultry palette. Okay, so I have already primed my eyes with the Anastasia eye primer, and once again I'm going to go in with Fresh to just set that primer. And I'm going to again go with Birch as my transition shade. It's just the best shade for me as a transition, and then I can build that up if I want to add different colours. So I'm going in with my Morphe R37 brush and the Birch, and just start that as my transition shade. I do like to go in with a shade like this, sort of around my skin tone, maybe a little bit darker, just to start that blend for the transition, and then I can build up from there, but it just lays the base down for good blending. And I'm just being rough with that in window shield wiper actions, little circular motions just to lay that down. I am going right into the inner corner with that shade, so inner corner, up the top, and blending outwards. Using the same brush, I'm going to go in with Bloom and add that in to that area as well, and just concentrating it just a little bit lower than where we blended the Birch. Just to give it some warmth. And little circular motions to blend that into that transition shade. Just circular, nothing precise, just blending that out. I'm going to take my Makeup Geek Outer V brush and I'm going to go in with Noir and do my little tapping at the edge. But I don't normally wear a black. If I had a choice of personal choice, I would use Dystopian. I prefer a very dark brown to a black. I have hardly ever used black, but just to utilize different shades to the previous look, I thought I'd better use the black. And I'm going to just blend that roughly. Okay, so I've just blended that really roughly because we're going to add another colour to that. Taking a flat shader brush, I am using the Sephora number 14 brush, and I'm going to go in with the colour Teak. And I'm going to tap that tap and drag on top of that black towards the centre of the eye. And I probably, with a smoky look like this, should have done my eyeshadow first, but I haven't, so hopefully I can fix that up because I'm getting fallout. Because I'll go back in with a blending brush to blend it all in and make it a bit softer. I'm going to go in with the blending brush that I have used previously for the natural look, and I'm just going to blend all those edges and soften that up. I just think as a mature girl, it's still nice to have a smoky eye, but I do like blending it out rather than having all the harsh dark lines. So I can still go for the deep colours, but I personally like just blending it all out. So that's blending the black into the teak shade. So it just softens the black, helps blend those two together. Just going to concentrate on the edges there, just to soften it all up. And then I'm going to go back in with the teak and just gently add a bit more there. And then I'm going to take another flat shader brush. I'm going to go in with rose quartz today, and apply that in the inner portion of the eye. And with that rosy colour, it blends in with the bloom that we put in. And just tapping and pressing to get the colour payoff in that inner portion. And then just blending a little bit, tapping just a little bit of that teak, so that it's not really a line but just blends in with that rose quartz. Going in with my blending brush that's got the bloom on it, and then just lightly adding that. I might go in with a little bit more birch in the outer, just to keep that blend there, and flicking it out. Out and up to drag the eye up, because I've got that, getting that whole droopy eye thing happening now. My hooded eyes are definitely heading south. Okay, I probably would highly recommend using these shadows if you're going for a more dramatic look prior to a face base, only because I did get quite a bit of fallout even on my nose and under my eyes, so hopefully I've patched that up all right. I'm going to go in with, I'll use my outer V brush, and I'm going to go in with Twig and run that under my eye. I'm going to go in with this wee Morphe M456 brush. It's just a really little thin tapered flat brush, and I'm going to go in with birch just to blow out a little bit that bottom lash line. Going in with one of my Anastasia brushes, I'm going to go in with the colour Pearl and just pop that in the inner corner, just really lightly in there, not taking it up anywhere. I don't do an underbrow highlight because I've got so much real estate in between my eyelid and my brows. I don't like to emphasize that anymore with brow highlight, so I just leave it with the eye primer as lightening up that area. I'm going to take the Marc Jacobs Highliner Gel Crayon, and I think I might get some more of these, and this is in blacker. I'm just going to line my waterline, and it's not doing a jolly thing, so it's not marking my my waterline at all. That was a wee sample that I got. So let's try my NARS High Pigment Longwear eyeliner. Probably need a good sharpen. Okay, I am just going to pop some lashes on using my velour lash adhesive cum eyeliner, and I'll be right back. Okay, so I just realized that I had filmed that whole tutorial with new lipstick on. So I've added some lipstick, I've added the lashes, and that is the finished look of a more sultry, evening appropriate look for, I feel, mature eyes. I did use black. It's not a colour that I normally wear. I normally just go for darker browns. But by blending it in and blending it in with the second shade that I had on the lid, I just think it softened it a little bit for mature eyes. I just think black can be harsh when we're getting a little bit older. So just by blending it down, that really helped, and I'm really happy with the look that I achieved with this. So that is the Sultry palette and the looks that I created with this. Now there is a lot of talk about similarities with this to the new Natasha Denona Glam palette. So I've done a review on that and I'll leave a link here. I do think you can get more deeper, smokier looks with this. I've still got to play with the glam a little bit more, but I do think you can get slightly different looks with this. With the addition here of Bloom and Birch, they just give you that little bit more warmth, and even the steampunk. I do love the glam palette and I'm looking forward to playing with it a heck of a lot more. So I hope you enjoyed the looks. I am really happy. I'm going to be a little bit too done up with my lashes and everything going out during the day. Please give this a thumbs up if you enjoyed that. Don't forget to click on the subscribe button down below if you haven't already. I'd really love to see you back, and I really encourage you, if there's other tutorials you would like to see, just let me know in the comments below. I'm really wanting to revisit makeup I have and not get caught up in the let's buy everything new that's going. So I want to utilise what I've got. If you have any suggestions, let me know. I hope you've all had a beautiful and a wonderful day, and I look forward to seeing you in my next video. See you later, guys. Bye.